So while I'm here in Portland, Maine, I wanted to talk to you for a minute about gear. And gear is it's such a big topic in the photography and videography worlds because there's so much of it, there's so many choices, and there's so many reasons to either purchase or not purchase gear. There's some really beautiful places up here, and having the right tools to capture the beautiful places you go to, or the important places, or those moments that you really want to capture, it's important. There's so much content about gear on YouTube, and especially when it comes to photography. There's a new camera, there's a new lens, there's a new tripod, there's new this, there's new that, and sometimes it can be hard to distinguish the difference between equipment that you actually need and equipment that maybe is just flashy and maybe something you want. I mean, let's be honest, marketing folks are really good at what they do, and they know how to sell you stuff, and that's their job, is to sell you on their new product. So I've been looking for, I'll bet every bit of 8 months for a solution to my video. Do I absolutely need a new camera for video? No. Do I want a camera that's going to give me better results and be more dependable? Yes. So that's why I was starting to get a little bit frustrated with my Canon Rebel 200 or SL2. Don't get me wrong, it's a great camera, but as you progress, you want the ability to take a step up in quality as far as what you're doing. I think Canon's big miss is not putting enough effort and time and resources into the video side of their cameras. I really tried to hold on for Canon, but their specs on their cameras just keep falling short. Ever since the 5D Mark IV, they've just been very behind in video. Awesome photography, which when the new Canon Professional R comes out, hopefully this fall or this winter, I'll be one of the first ones to sign up for it. But for video, I just felt like that camera's not going to be even as good as this guy. 8 months of researching the best camera for video. It all comes down to something I wasn't expecting. I was expecting to jump into a full frame. In fact, I had the Sony A7 III ordered, and it was with a lens, and the lens was back ordered, and I had it checked so that nothing would ship or be finalized until all items were in stock. Canceled that order. Reordered the same lens with the Sony A7R III, thinking, maybe this way I can get the best of both worlds, both with photography and videography. Canceled that order because of the complaints to do with Sony's menu system and how to operate the camera. It just, I'm used to a Canon. A Canon is pretty simple, but it works. So where did that land me? Well, it landed me at the couple of year old Panasonic Lumix GH5, and a lot of you guys know all about the GH5 and swear by it. And all the specs that I've researched for what I'm looking for are mastered by the Lumix GH5. I was trying to hold out for Canon to release their Professional R camera, which hopefully is due out this fall, and I still plan on buying that for the photography side of things. But for video, Canon always falls short. I wasn't going to count on the camera to be the option I was looking for video. I love my Canon cameras, and I have several of them. The 80D is what I've been using primarily for photography. But as my journey in photography goes deeper, I'm just looking to get better equipment to just give me that little bit of an edge to make sure I'm coming back with the exact feeling and emotion from photos that I really want. And the videography is the same way. I want to make sure that I'm really getting that detail, that I'm getting that emotion, that I'm not fighting the equipment constantly. And this Lumix GH5 is hopefully gonna help make my video, creation just a lot simpler. Everybody just raves about this Lumix GH5, so I had to get it and see what I can do with it myself. Gear definitely isn't a make or break when it comes to producing videos or photos. It seems far too often the people that have the nice gear are the ones telling us that, gear doesn't mean anything. I'm just beginning. I'm 3 years into picking up a camera and getting serious about it, and gear makes a difference. It just does. Gear makes a huge difference when you can upgrade and get image stabilization for video, or 4K for video, or resolution for photo. It all makes a difference. Where it stops making a difference is there's a balance line there somewhere between professional and consumer, and when you hit that line and you start going up into professional, then the difference is diminished. So you get the law of diminishing returns, and I think that holds true with almost anything. But definitely with photography and videography gear. By far, skills are the most important thing. Developing your skills, your photography, knowing your settings, shooting in manual, where to shoot, where to get the best perspectives, and seeing composition. Those are the most important things. And I think a lot of times we buy gear just to buy gear because it's new, or we want to try something different, and we make these impulse buys. And, that's where gear gets a bit of a bad rap, because it's not going to improve anything if we're buying something with similar specs. We're just satisfying a need to buy something. We get disappointed when that happens. We spend a bunch of money on gear and our results don't seem to be improving. So I think that's part of the problem. When you do a lot of research and you look at the specs of what it is that you're purchasing or what you're interested in purchasing, and you just have the patience to wait, and it's such a hard thing. You're on your phone, you're looking at, B&H's new products, and you're like, oh my gosh, you want that one. But really, what you need to do is just wait. Just have some patience. I think gear runs in 3 stages, and that's going to be your beginner stage. And in your beginner stage, you use things like iPhones, GoPros, very cheap DSLRs or good point and shoot cameras. And then your medium phase, where you're into a little bit better, you're looking for more quality, more reliability, and so now you're into your nicer DSLRs or your real nice point and shoot cameras and things like that. And then you get into the professional side, where it's high-end stuff and things that are marketed to professionals, definitely people that are making good money on their work with photography and videography. My suggestion to you, and this doesn't work for everyone, because like for me, I don't have a rental place nearby, but if you have a camera rental shop anywhere near you, use it. Rent gear, see what you like, see what works for your workflow. I think that's one of the most important things you can do with gear, because if you make a $1,500, $2,500, $3,500 purchase and you're not 100% happy with it, you're going to be incredibly disappointed, and it could kill your passion, or at least hurt it. And that's a really bad thing. And if I'm being honest with you, I'm a bit of an impulse buyer sometimes when it comes to this stuff. We just like everybody else, when you see a new piece of gear and you're just like, you can't stop thinking about it. How much could this do for me? And so that's why I just wanted to put this out there. I don't want people to be disappointed. Learn the lessons of some of the people that have been through it. I'm right in the middle of it as far as my journey with this, whole photography and videography thing. So I think that's a pretty unique perspective for anyone that's just getting into it, considering getting into it, or whatever. So the bottom line here about gear is do your research. And if you feel like there's a hole that you need to fill to make better work, do your research. Rent some gear, test it out, see what actually fills that hole, and don't go off just the specs, or definitely don't go off a referral video on YouTube. To close it out about gear, watch your YouTube videos, get the specs, do your research, do a lot of research, because a lot of times what you'll find with videos and referrals is it's tailored to whatever their circumstances are, whoever's doing the video. And it would be no different, to watch a video on my channel. It's gonna be tailored to my circumstances. I'm gonna try to make it as general and as broad as possible, just like everyone does. But I mean, it has to come from within what you know. You got to know what it is that's going to make your game better, what's going to give you better stuff, and then take everything when it comes to research with a grain of salt. And my number one tip to you: be patient. Don't do that late night buy. Don't buy because it just came out. be patient. Otherwise, you're going to waste a lot of money and have a lot of disappointment in your gear. Thanks for watching. I can't wait to see you next time.